So, quick car chat real quick. I had a couple of questions that someone wanted answered on my last CPS video. So to answer the question was, did I file for custody? Was one of the questions. The answer is yes. I filed twice, actually, for custody. The problem is with that is that the lady my sister willingly handed her oldest two boys over to, who is not a relative. Her son and the other lady's son went to school together in Boy Scouts or whatever and became best friends. But my sister literally just handed the boys over to them, and there's a bit of a deeper issue with that, but I won't go all into that just yet, because then I'd be putting out other family members' business, and I don't want to do that just yet, but the truth is the truth. So my sister, she handed over the two boys, and when she did, she filed for an emergency removal of my niece, which would make it so that she had 3 out of the 4 children. My youngest nephew that you all see with me, Aiden, was not a part of any of that stuff at that point in time. So when she filed for the emergency removal in December, when my sister got the letter in the mail, I immediately said, look, we can't be letting the kids leave the family. That's not what family does. That's not what family is. I was totally against all of it, and I had no idea even from the beginning that she even handed the boys over the way that she did. And again, someone else played a part in it, thinking that it was a good option for the boys. Just it baffles me, because absolutely not, and I've said it since the very beginning. But when Amber, my sister, that's her name, when Amber got that letter, I told her, I said, let me have my niece immediately. I had no idea, I did not expect it, that my sister would actually let me get my niece that day. I was working in a nursing home at the time. But she let me have my niece that day, and I immediately took my own money that I had, and it was about $150, $200 to try to file for custody. They said that I had to involve every party on that open case. Now, on that open case was my nephew's friend's mom, right? Not a relative. So because she was on that case and I had no information, I was not able to join that case without seeing a judge. She does not know 3 out of the 4 dads, right? I also had to serve the fathers, which we don't know, informing them that I was filing for custody as well. This other lady doesn't even know their information as well, because nobody knows the oldest 3's fathers. Psh, mind blown, right? Yeah, but that's a fact. So the second time that I filed, I didn't have the money at the time, and I was in such a panic, you guys. It was horrible. Like, there was so much going on. I had just gotten through my divorce and just had a baby and everything. So like everything was just like, I feel like was just thrown towards my way, and I'm trying to be a superhero and I'm not, you know? So the second time, my uncle actually helped me pay for it. And once again, I came across the same issue. The issue was that the lady was already on the case and was the main person on the case, and the fathers also needed to be served. So with that being said, about the next month, this was in January, right? This was January 3rd. So a few weeks right after January 3rd was when I tried to file 2 times to get custody of my niece and my nephew, and was denied completely. So the next month, because of the case that was going on. They couldn't remove Arabella from the home because my sister, she was never like fully removed just yet. I literally stepped in just in time saying, hey, she doesn't even live there. She's not even living with my sister. She's living with me. So they allowed her to stay. February 28th, CPS was the very first time that they reached out to the family, period, and asked, was I willing to take my nephew? Of course, absolutely. So I had my nephew. About the next week, I was doing research and I've been making phone calls and, trying to speak to attorneys, and attorneys can only consult with you so much without retainer fees and stuff like that, which I did not and do not have, So my next best option after researching for myself was to try to find a way to obtain power of attorney over both of the children, which I did do. My sister and I had power of attorney forms notarized, which gave me some type of power, not even in the court system, but it gave me some type of say to be able to provide for them, that they live for me, that I clothe them, I provide for them, all those things that are needed for a child. That's what the power, that's what the power of attorney forms has done. Now, after we got the power of attorney forms notarized, it took a few months. In the meantime, CPS is still coming to my home, But I asked them, I said, well, is there any way that I could get some type of letter of recognition from CPS stating that the children are with me and in my care, preventing them from foster care? Now, the lady did give me a letter from her supervisor stating that I'm preventing the kids from foster care, so please allow me to do whatever is necessary, So that is all that I have almost a year later. Again, I've gone to court about 6 to 8 times, literally, and still cannot get into the courtroom because they're pulling people in who are not relatives. There were about 4 guys DNA tested. None of them were their father. The one who is the active father, which is who the courts listed, has not taken a DNA test because he did not have an ID at the time. So they just stuck it as in he is the active father because he says that he has been there and he wants to be that father person for her. So that's where he came into the courtroom at this last hearing the other day, last week actually. And I was just completely mind blown. How does somebody else get into the courtroom without a DNA test before me? Like, it absolutely makes no sense. So that answers that first question. The second question is, does my sister not want the kids with me? Obviously, she signed power of attorney in the very beginning, almost a year ago. So she did want the kids with me because she would be able to still see her youngest 2, since she can't see the oldest 2 because the lady is preventing the oldest 2 from coming around the family. Talking to us, they haven't seen their siblings in literally since like Easter, and it's been one time. It's a very sad situation. We haven't even seen the oldest boys, can't talk to them or anything like that. Sorry guys, I'm over here looking and there's so many people like over here doing stuff and pulling up on this. But we haven't seen the oldest boys, and my sister didn't want that for her youngest 2, so she allowed them to be with me and signed power of attorney. Now, does she want them with me at this point? I'm going to say no, she does not at this point, because almost a year later, to be truthful, my sister has only seen them a couple of times. And me personally, I feel like the kids were taken for a reason. So I'm doing my sister a favor, not just one by keeping the kids with the family and jumping in the way that I did, but I'm doing her a favor because she has seen the kids a couple of times, but she does not call and ask about them. She does not come to see them. She does not provide anything for them whatsoever. And she gets a disability check for herself and she works. as a housekeeper in a hotel, but she's still, there's no concern for the kids whatsoever until she sees the kids in her face. Now, when the kids start crying, oh, I miss you, mommy, can I stay with you, can I stay with you, that's when my sister wants to start crying and, oh, I hate seeing my babies cry and blah, 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 blah. But I personally feel like I'm doing so much work, and on top of that, it's so hard. Once they see their mom, those few random times that they have seen her, once they do see her, it's like their whole routine and emotions are completely thrown off, and I don't feel that it's healthy. So I have not been letting her around them, and I have not been bringing them around. You know, when it's me who is sacrificing myself every single day and night to make sure that I'm doing the best thing for them and make sure that their mental is trying to get where it should have been all along, you know, it's so hard for me to allow her that opportunity because she doesn't appreciate it. I truly feel she does not appreciate it. And I know she doesn't. If she did, she would be there. She'd provide for them. She'd call and ask for them. She'd come and see them. You know, she'd be willing to spend time. And she had an opportunity to get the kids back, but the conditions were what she needed to complete her parenting classes. She needed to stay in counseling, and she needed to keep a job, and she needed to provide at least a 2-bedroom home for the children. It's been almost a year, and there has been absolutely none of that. Absolutely nothing. She's out here working, spending her money, spending $400 on her hair and her nails, and you haven't provided $20. You haven't provided anything for school when school started. You haven't taken these kids to the doctor's office, the dentist. Aiden had surgery while in my care. He had like 8 cavities. Granted, I need my teeth done too, but you know, come on now. There's absolutely nothing. You don't provide for food. You don't come see them. You don't call and ask how their day is going. Meanwhile, these kids are literally crying that they want their mommy, and I just don't feel that it's healthy. Like, it's not healthy. My sister or not, like, it's not healthy. And I'm trying to do the best that I can for these kids. And honestly, I'm about to have another baby of my own, and I'm going through so much, and I feel like the courts are starting to play with me, that I feel like my mom should be the one. And I feel like my mom should have been the one the entire time to step in, because although I'm a biological aunt, and I stepped in the way that I did, my mother legally, as the grandmother, has grandparents' rights. That's just a fact. It should always be, not it should always be, but it has always been, you know, tradition that when you have children, you know, the grandparents are the ones to help take over and the person to lean on. And, you know, to be honest with you, my mom should know that very well, just because I was raised by my dad's side of the family. I wasn't even raised by my mom's side of the family, nor my mom, until I was 15 years old. And that's a whole different story. You know, my sister, she also was raised majority with my other grandmother, my mom's mom. And that's it's tradition. It's the way of life. It's the way that it's supposed to be. Now, granted, my mom has health problems and stuff like that, but a lot of people have to take accountability for the things that they have done and the choices that they have done in their life and for their children. You know, you have to take accountability for the things that your children have done, because it says a lot about your parenting, you know. And she may see this video, so she probably will have some type of feelings about what I'm saying, but it's nothing that I haven't said to her already. I love you. I love her, you know, but the truth is the truth. And I still feel like my mom should be the person to step in and gain a little bit of control here, because I feel like I'm being played. I truly feel like I'm being played completely, and it's a lot. It's a lot, you know. I have the help of my boyfriend, and without him, I'd be completely lost, honest to God. I'd have lost my mind a long time ago had it not been for him. You know, these kids, like I said before, they have different habits than what my kids have. And there's been so much damage done, and it's hard to repair any of it. It's going to take some time. You know, I mean, they've come a long way while being with me, but there are still certain things that they definitely need help with and need to change for the better. I don't know. I've spoken to my mom, and hopefully pretty soon we could try to get things going the way that I personally need them to be, because the truth is that I can't do it by myself. You know, I cannot do it by myself. And I also don't want to lean on someone, although the person that I have is a great person to lean on, it's not a guarantee. So that would only leave just me, you know. I don't want to be stuck in that situation, because I have to think about my children as well. I've done what I can to keep the kids with us, but I also feel like I've been crying out for help, and I've been trying to stand up for every single body, and I can't do it anymore. I have to stand up for myself. I have to stand up for my kids. You know, I've been through too much myself. Like I said, you know, I'm a rape survivor. I went through child abuse myself, and there's just so many things. I've been married and divorced, had a baby on my own, and there's just so many things that I personally have been through. And I can get into a lot of these other things that I'm saying on a different video, another day, another time. But I wanted to come on here and just touch on the questions that I'm being asked. And I hope that sums it up for you guys. It's a lot. It's stressful. It's draining. And there's always worry and fear. You know, worry and fear that maybe I can't do it by myself. I think I would lose my mind by myself, honestly. You know, I'm afraid to not be able to move forward. I never really had a chance in life to really move forward the way that I should have had a chance to really move forward. And I think that it's time for me to not continue to take on other people's burdens and hold people accountable, no matter who they are or how close they are to me. You know, I've been taking accountability for a lot of people's shit my entire life, since the age of 9 years old. And even before then, without even realizing it. But I've started realizing it at the age of 9 years old and so forth. It's totally time for me to grow, to heal, you know. And I'm someone who is very vocal, and I speak on these things, whether people like them or not. And I will always continue to do so, because that's just who I am. That's how my heart is set up. That's how my mind thinks, you know. But I did make a vlog for today. I'm gonna try to edit it and get it up. So I hope you guys I guess maybe appreciate, or yeah, I hope you guys appreciate me trying to answer some of your questions. I must say, before I get off of here, I so appreciate, you know, although I'm only at like 91 subscribers right now, I totally appreciate it. The questions that come in, I appreciate them, you guys. Give me what you guys want to know. Like, let me know. What do you guys want to know? What do you want to hear? I'm here for it. I'm trying to focus on me, you guys. I'm trying to focus on growing. I want this. Like, I don't want to be working a whole 9 to 5. I know that I have so much to talk about. I have so much to offer the world, like just through life experiences that I've had. And I feel like my mental, although it is stunted in some ways, I have to be honest about it. You know, I may be stunted in some ways in life, but I don't have to stay that way. And I'm very blessed to not be much worse. You know, I could be a drug addict. I could be dead. You know, there's so many things that I could be, but I'm not. And I'm so grateful, you guys. But definitely, I appreciate all the subscribers. If you're new, from like the past like week or so, hello. Thank you guys for visiting. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for the comments and the love and the hope and the prayers that I've been getting lately. I appreciate it so much. So stay tuned, because I have another vlog coming. Peace out.